Hello. This message is for my circle and my square, so that there might be a triangulation going up and down. I'd have to put more thought into this. But anyways, my circle are the people that I know, that I am in contact with. And my square are those that I am not in contact with, whether it's on a local level or on a planetary level. And so to square the circle is a ancient phenomenon known to various alchemists, mystics, sages, entrepreneurs, innovators, who have deeply believed there is a center point of life, of the universe, that isn't fixed at a particular time and place. But anyways, I would just like to say welcome, everyone. What would I like to say? I think we are in a time where it has never been more important and more novel and more inquisitive for us to document. Which doesn't always mean paper and pen, or computer and keyboard, or camera and the red button. But practically speaking, in a world where we all have to live under certain conditions and rules and systems, these forms can be a vital element towards the expression of our circle, our gift, our vision, our experience, even if it isn't the highest, or if it isn't necessarily factual and accurate at times, because we can all get a little hazy and distorted and confused sometimes with all the information that is being put out there and has been for quite some time from various angles, from different time periods, about different subjects. But to ground this video, I would just like to say that for myself, I believe documentation relates to the will to provide a public record where, on a local level, on a cybernetic, internet, technological level, there can be more ease of access to the consciousness, the information, and possibly the value of those to the benefit of humanity. And so, I often talk about getting out there, sharing our message, our perspective, and allowing the world to do whatever the world wants to do in response, positive or negative, life or death, money or debt. I do sense over the course of time and space, there is a net positive, even though it may not look like a straight line going vertically upwards towards true north. It can look a little shaky. Om. Ah. And so, we all have a different field that we are kind of more attracted to. My field is public speaking, maybe some writing. And that field does sort of encompass a collection of the different fields that are out there, even though there might be certain weaknesses in being able to understand and study certain elements of the different fields. And for me, that's the scientific department, and potentially in some way the judiciary, bureaucratic department of law. But what do I want to say to all of us as a final point, because I don't really want to make a video too long. But what's wrong with making a video long? Oh, people might get bored and people might not be interested and it might feel like a waste of time from which they can be using their energy towards other matters that could benefit the whole from which they are most certainly a part. An inseparable, indivisible part that cannot really be isolated into units that are disconnected. So on this very day of whatever the date is since the birth of Jesus Christ, no, let's take a step back from that sort of perspective and just allow for time and space to dissolve for a moment and consider that the practical message right now at these times where a lot of people are wanting to escape so many things and yet at the same time get in the face of so many forms of power and forms of institutional power. There isn't an easy one-size-fits-all in delinquating. Is that a word? I'll make it up right now. The situation, the equation, where a lot of people feel burnt out, and my teachers that I look up to suggest there are ways of finding work and potentially creating work or reforming the work that we are in so that there is less dictatorial top-down power dynamics that can oftentimes seem through many job employment situations exploitive, consumerist, yada yada yada. So the message for today, grounded through the child and the adult that orbits and circles the perimeter of our foundation, our principles, our structure, our form from which we can consider ideas that have never been thought before and implement some of those ideas possibly that have never been thought before, and show to the world that perhaps there is a way to connect with these ideas while also holding a bridge or holding a space for organizations and nonprofits and NGOs and potentially governments. Do I want to say corporations? Businesses that might actually want to partner, sponsor, and potentially even play along. But the details, are they written on the wall? Is the proof in the pudding? How does that phrase apply? I'm playing a little, but do not ever think that you can just play a little. For we are in a serious time where everyone must put on the mad face so that we can have law and order, sustainability, diversity, equality, uniformity towards a positive goal. Alright, last point. May we find a way to express our heart through the mind in a way that people may be able to understand, even if it's a minority, by just presenting that opportunity in the workplace, in the town square, City Hall, the Capitol. Might just be enough to tip the scales over the course of this human experiment, this experiment in consciousness, that we may actually be consciousness, awareness, spirit, but without getting super definitional, strict with labels and words. I thank everyone for coming out today to maybe open this experience into your life, even if you are indoors, behind or underneath your covers. But yeah, the practical and the ideal fused together. What is it? Is it easily explainable? Is there a particular idea that ignites the volcano of humanitarian, non-violent, civil disobedience, the revolution that is based in love, not hate? Thank you, dear ones. Oh, humanity, friends and potentially enemies, even though I do not necessarily look at people as enemies. But what if they were to pull a gun to my head? A knife, a fist, the evil eye. Well, I'll leave that situation to when it comes up, but I would choose life. Would I turn the other cheek and walk away? Would I stand firm in neutrality or in the flame of immovable love, grounded in peace, knowing that whatever happens this very day to this very body, that it does not truly determine my journey, my will to journey as a co-creator to the Creator, from which there may not actually be distance in between through the process of realizing all is one and one is all, so that I might actually be able to witness the Creator and every co-creator, and essentially at the core, that there is nothing but the Creator. As a co-creator, realizing there might be more to this word, as there might be more to the word and term of the Creator. As I have heard, the Creator was like us at one point. Maybe not necessarily on a planet like this, but maybe. It does not matter. For what matters is the ode to joy that bursts and sings forth any moment, any time we have a will. For the center, the central fire that burns all throughout the perimeter. If we can see, there is no real distance in between. Now let the money fall from the sky, and the resources and the personnel and the experience come when it comes, as we can choose to be, and let be.